Today, my goal is all you leave with an idea of something in Jiu-Jitsu, okay? So for me, the most important thing is the control and the dominance. This is how I understand someone is better in Jiu-Jitsu than the other one. Because if you play war and you just shoot for a triangle and it works, it doesn't mean it's gonna work on the second time. If you just grab someone's key and you go for a straight footlock and you get the tap, it doesn't mean you're gonna get there again. So Jiu-Jitsu is much more about control and progress. So for example, if I'm rolling with Vitor, I prefer I tap him once, but he never had a chance.
Good.
I totally control his guard. I pass. Once I pass, I never lost the pass, and then I mount. I never lost the mount, and then I tap him from the mounted from the back, and I only tap once. I prefer this than I tap him twice, but I also lost a lot of position, and then he also tapped me once. Okay, because this is control. And this is something you take for MMA, you take for self-defense. You know, people who do fighting like MMA, you know how exhausting it is to take someone down, get in a half guard, punch 2-3 times. They stand up, go to the cage, stand up, and now again. So losing the position is something bad. And when you use too much speed to pass and stuff, so talking about passing now, you're giving too much spaces. Pressure, I would say, is the most important thing in Jiu-Jitsu. Pressure and technique. This is how you open the space, like closing the gaps, okay? So when you go for a choke or back take, it's the same. One thing for you, I want you to understand today is like back is the same thing as mount. It just changed the perspective. Mount is the same as close guard. It just changed the perspective. Quarter mount is the same as back with one hook. So more important than staying in the back is to have the control of the fight. So what I mean by that? When I try so hard to put both hooks, I'm thinking about points. Hooks doesn't mean control, okay? This is the first thing. And one thing that makes us lose the back is when we try so hard to keep the back control. We try so hard that they are already escaping, we are on their back, they are sliding their back to the mat, their shoulder is on our chest already, is not our chest on the back, and we keep squeezing and trying to bring the person to the other side to keep the control. And this is what makes us lose the back control. But once you understand that what is important is the dominance, and you start losing the back, you do your transition for a quarter mount. You come up, okay? So you don't keep losing the positions, because the thing is the control. Nothing else is important, okay? It's just the control. But I also understand we all training based on points. So for example, I always say like, side control is 3 points. Quarter mount is nothing. But in reality, for Jiu-Jitsu, for grappling, for MMA, for self-defense, whatever, quarter mount is much better than side control. Much better, okay? Because we aren't always close to the mounts. It's better to punch, it's better for everything. So for example, here, the choke, we're just gonna treat this a little bit. Now we're gonna go for the details on the choke. First thing, if you go with your hand deep and you grab too much material, it's gonna be worse to keep the pressure. So always grab less material possible. It's just like doing a pull-up. If the bar is bigger, it's harder to do if the bar is fake, right? So same thing, we go here, okay? When I climb this grip, I can't be here and do this, because he will use both hands on my hand. Once I try to come up, he push down. and then I lose the control. So every time I'm going for the seatbelt, I'm grabbing the same one. So now the bottom one helps me to clean the space, pull down while I'm climbing. But when I climb, I do like this. I take my time until I'm there. Okay? Now look my wrist. My wrist is extended. When I accept this curvature on my wrist, I'm accepting his neck curvature. So it's no pressure on him. Okay? So now, because I'm having this, people try to extend. But all I have to do is to close this gap. So I'm just gonna flex my wrist. Okay? And now wait. See, you have the tap. Okay? So just think about this choke. If I'm doing this on the choke, it's gonna take a while, maybe a minute, but it's gonna tap. So like this is more important, understanding that I'm closing the spaces. This is more important than squeezing hard. Okay. So first exercise I want you to do is this. Okay, very simple. This collar I don't pull cross because I want to close this space here for the choke. So I just pull down here. Now I just fix both of my wrists. Okay? And then I know he's gonna tap eventually. Okay? If I keep the same pressure and I want to increase this pressure, my chest goes over his back. I project my chest forward, fix my wrist, and I bring my elbow to his back. And then I have the choke. Okay? So let's just really. Você quer ver de fora?
Não, mais ou menos. Só você está mostrando
Eu almost myself. Você que não quer ver?
Pode ser fora.
Luca, can I see?
Yeah.
So you can see the also. So, what do you need? Always here, your lapel. I'm climbing the grave like this. Okay? The other lapel, I pull down, not cross. Now look my wrist. Okay? Now I also add my chest, the wrist, and pull my elbow to his back and just stay. And this is from everywhere. From how far. This is very important. This rotation here on the wrist. Okay? So easy things to remember. We're just gonna drill like 2 minutes each. You feel. What I don't want is you doing this. No, wait a minute. Just going to choke is like this. You grab. When you feel you close up the spaces, you finish closing the last space. You apply a bit of pressure. Okay? We don't squeeze really hard. Okay? It's something that we can get with time. We need time to hack the choke. You don't need to squeeze really hard. Okay, so close the space, understand this. If you're using strength too much, something is wrong. Okay? Especially because they're not even resistant. Okay? Still rushing a bit, so you want to squeeze. Okay? I want you to resist, okay? So look. No, just as more. Yeah, you can use your legs. You see if I'm pulling? Try to resist. Try to pull my hands down. Go. And that's here is strong. If I'm squeezing, I'm losing my grip, my strength. Okay? So this is about the choice. Now
I almost passed that.
Now I'm gonna show the control for the hip from the bottom part, and then we're gonna put everything together. Okay? So the drill is like this. Let me use the belt now. Now we have the seat belt. Okay? So let's say I land. I always land for this way. It's better. Gi is better this way. No gi better this way. Okay? And then after I explain more. So I go this way because I have the ball. And then you will understand why I like this side here with the key. Because logically, this side is better for him to escape because he's closer to the mat, to put his back on the mat. He's closer compared to this. Here I have more tools to avoid him to put his back on the mat. But on the gi, we have the lapel. So if he escapes, we have the clock choke, if that's what we're gonna see. And from the clock choke, if they escape, we retake the back. So we never end this cycle, okay? So here, the control is like this. When we got here, people will bring their knees to their chest. Traz seu joelho pro seu peito. Isso, cara. And then it's gonna be hard to put the second hook, right? So what's the problem here? Is the mindset we have of putting hooks, but it doesn't mean control. What means escaping from here? He will escape if he's able to lift his butt and go turn, and then we start having problems. So it doesn't make sense if I see this is tight, taking my hook out and try to pull. Because once I unlock my feet and try to put it here, his hip is free to go turn. Vai de quatro foi? Yeah, and then we start a fight here, where I start to lose control. Every time I unlock here, he lifts his butt high. And if he closes that space to put the hook, now I'm on top of his back without the hook, which is, I'm gonna lose the back if he has a good defense, okay? So from here, what we do, I cross my feet and I pinch and I stretch a little bit. And then I connect here. One thing that is normal doing wrong is people are way more focused on having the top part control than the bottom. And when we think about control and dominance, as I said, we need to balance this control, okay? So I'm not squeezing really hard while my knee is open, okay? So I'm squeezing here, pushing down, and I'm squeezing here, not very hard. So now what happens? If he tries to go that way, I'm like a backpack on him. And this is the drill we're gonna do. So I want you to cross, pinch a bit, and then your partner is gonna roll that way. Go that way. Keep going. Vai. Não, pra lá, só roda pra lá. Aí, vai de novo, continua indo. And we're gonna roll. He feels what you have to feel when you are on the mat is zero effort to stay on his back. And what he needs to feel is like he's carrying a weight. Okay, that's the goal. So I'm here, I cross my feet, pinch, now he goes. Pode rolar. And then we're gonna go through the mat, like this. Okay? Let's sit to it. And we're gonna shoot. So sit down. I have a balance on this control here, cross my feet, and pinch on his hip, okay? Because if I'm like this, he roll, I'm not going with him. But as I create a connection with his hip here, when he goes, you see how hard it was for him? I'm like a backpack on his back. And I just stay like that, just It's different, right? Huh? It's different. Okay, so rebel partner and go back and forth on the mat. One person and then switch. It must be a focus for the person on bottom. Just squeeze your knees on the hip. And it must be a hard time for the person defending. Because when they turn, they need to carry all your weight. They take you back. Okay, let's try. 1, 2, 3. First thing we look on the back is always the collar. And this is why the second hook is secondary. I need this. Once I have this, everything else is just gonna flow, okay? So now we go for the choke. Look what's gonna happen. His head have all this space here between my arm, my shoulder, my chest. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold that collar, I'm gonna pendulum my top leg so I can go on my elbow. So this is going to happen. Look at this space here. I'm gonna close all this space, okay? And I lean forward. And this is why it's important this now. Because I won't have leverage, let's say, to this. If I squeeze like this, I open the space for him to put his head on the mat and stop skating. Okay? And this will make sense with the next move we do. So I have my hooks here, cross, pinching. Same thing, I climb the collar. Boom, I have it. I know I have it. I grab the other collar. Now look, I'm gonna pendulum, and when I'm up, either I cross my feet, or if there is space, I put my hook. Okay? So look, one, and I stay here. Okay? Only that. Okay? So again, I'm here, very tight, not squeezing. You must be tight enough to create a connection, and tight somehow you can be there for 30 minutes with that strength. Okay? If I'm doing this, no, I won't be able to. Okay? So wrist, same thing. So one, and I lean towards his face. Okay? Just this, we're gonna practice. So this is why it's important this, because once we have the hand deep on the collar, we have everything else. So just to show you, let's say I did this, which is almost impossible, and he can go turtle and skate. Go turtle, vai de upper play. Now I'm on the clock too. Okay? And he tried to roll. I still on the back. Always with the same choke. Okay? Okay. This is what you're going to see, but I just want a few times you doing push-up, like only doing this. Roll deep, hold the collar, same as we did at the beginning, pendulum your leg, bring your elbow to your ribs, and lay towards his head. Okay? Você quer ver de fora agora? Pode ser? Do you have a problem? Good. Good. Same thing, climbing until you feel it's deep enough. From the bottom look, pull down. Now you pendulum your leg. Just fix your wrist and stay. Great. Good clever. So if your partner is not tapping on the first 2 or seconds, just matter of time. Okay?
Você pode mostrar, tipo, virando quando ele vira de quatro apoio? Também?
Depois eu mostro que eu só quis mostrar como é que é o big picture do bagulho. Depois a gente vai fazer indo pro clock choke. It's the same if I have both foots, okay? You go for the same, look for the perfect grip, pulling down, squeezing. I go where he was able to go turn. Okay? Then we just keep the same grip. I lay with my chest. Yeah. I lay with my chest on his back, but almost it's like on his neck here. And I'm not flat, I'm sideways, okay? And look, and then I start to walk like this. So all I have to do is to fix my wrist. I'm not even doing this. He's already happy. So it's like I need to do this and this. Okay? Yeah?
Pega muito já, tipo, no começo já.
So he go turtle, but I can go for the first submission if I don't get. I go for the clock choke, but I can also induce him to go turtle. Make him go turtle. What I do, I just open his leg. So everyone goes to run. And then face belly down, fix your wrist, and then start walking, and you have all this to get the tag. Okay? So you can do both. You go for the first choke, you don't get it, and then you go clock, or you just put your hook on the mat. 99% of people, they go that way. Okay? See? All I do, I face my belly down. And then, run with this. I haven't. Good point. And then, I have the bottom one, he escaped, he goes turtle, I face belly down, and then I'm going to the clock. But let's say, right before I can start the clock choke, he already rolls that way. Vai devagar, fazendo rolamento para lá, para esse lado. Yeah, he goes that way. If he stay here, he's gonna end up on my side control, he might escape. Okay? So what I do is, once I have my grips here for the clock. Once I feel I lost the clock because he's gonna roll, I'm gonna post my forehead on the mat and I'm gonna open my feet. So I open up my base, which I'm gonna start right here. Okay? If I stay here and keep applying pressure, a lot of people, they will tap. They still tap here, look. Okay? But what I think to retake the back is, I'm gonna bring this knee on his hips, here. Why? Because I need him rolling over my knee. Because if I just go here and roll, his back is on the mat. His leg is back to the mat. So I need to support his back on my knee. This is what makes possible to bring him all the way and stay on his back. So instead of going to the clock choke, I feel I'm losing, right to that. I post my forehead on the mat, on my toes. As I said, if I keep squeezing, he might tap from here. Okay? But I bring my knee and I go all the way. And then I'm on the back again. Okay? Você quer ver de fora? Pode ser. Go slowly, rolling. Your forehead on the mat. I still can get the tap from here. Okay? I bring my knee here, all the way, and then jump. And then let's put the back here. So we saw all the side examples, and it all comes from having this collar, right? And remember I said in the beginning, the important thing is not losing the control. So let's say I'm going for the choke, I might have both hooks here, no problem, okay? So people will try to slide their back to the mat. While my chest is on his back, I have a back control. This is why the defense, so I need two things to have a good choke and control. My chest on his back and his head lower than my head. I need his neck here on my arm line. So if he bridges, faz uma ponte aí, se joga pra cima de mim. Yeah, he's here, I don't have the leverage like to finish. And the second thing now is escorrega seu ombro para o meu peito, vai para as costas. Yes. Now his shoulder is on my chest. Now I lost the back. So what's the mistake here? People still want the back, okay, and try to stay here. Don't let go of the grip. Of course, if this grip is very, very tight, I can go for a clock choke. I just open everything, go for a clock choke. But let's say I have the seat belt. I wasn't able to go for the collar. He already starts escaping and sliding to the side. Okay, now I lost the back. So what I do now, before I lose the back, I give up the back. Because if I give up the position before he fully escaped, it means I can go to somewhere else. If I wait for him to escape 100%, now we are involved. Okay? So I use this little advantage I still have on the position. So how I do it, I cross my feet, okay? And then I bridge and squeeze on his core, okay? So now what's the mistake from here? Everyone thinks, okay, I'm gonna go to the mount, and then people go to the mount like this. But the thing is, every time I bend my hip, I'm light. Sure. And this is a concept for guard passing. If I go with my hip like this up, he can push me. He can push me, then recover the guard. Or when I'm going up, or when I'm going up, he also come up. Come up, right? Yes. And we end up on a close guard. Okay? So these two things happen a lot from that situation. We going up and we lose. They play some guard, or before we can come up, they come up before. And we end up on a close guard. So as he starts escaping, I aim my knee here on his core, and then I squeeze. Then stretch. Okay? Now I need to come up. If I come up on my elbow, I bend my hip. So what I do, I grab here or his sleeve, okay? And I open my arm like this, and I keep my hip extended. Now I go on my arm. From this situation, it's very hard for him to come up because I'm squeezing and going forward. Yes, he's step on the mat. And now I can, step by step, coming up, apply the pressure. And then from here, we start working the mount. If I end up here, as I said, quarter mount, I'm still in a very good position. Okay? Okay? Right here. He put his back on the mat, immediately cross and extend. Really for you. Okay? Now, keep squeezing. I go on my elbow, always with my hip like this, so I'm happy. And then from here, always the goal is to isolate one arm, but that's more subtle.